Hello students, my name is Shaheen. I am a lecturer from Department of Zoology, Veerashaiva College, Ballari. So as we were discussing about the comparative study as a part of syllabus from the paper Biology of Chordata and Comparative Anatomy, I have explained about the comparative study of digestive system in different vertebrates by taking the examples from each class. So today we are going to study the comparisons of heart in different vertebrates. So in case of vertebrates or all chordates, the heart is a muscular pumping organ, and it is and it helps in the circulation of blood and lymph. So this entire circuit forms the circulatory system or vascular system, that is presence of heart and connected vessels and arteries and also veins. So heart is usually derived from the mesodermal tissue, and it is protected inside a cavity called as pericardial cavity, or that cavity is made up of pericardium, and that is a type of muscle, whereas the heart actually it is made up of cardiac muscles which are involuntary in nature. That's why heart it always pumps the blood, and it is because of the presence of cardiac muscles which are involuntary in nature, which doesn't stop its work. So when we talk about the heart, we need to know some important terms. So in case of heart, we find chambers. So the chambers includes auricles and ventricles. So these auricle and ventricle, they form the true chambers of the heart. But when we see in lower vertebrates like fish and frog, and also in reptile, we see along with the true chambers we find accessory chambers also. So the accessory chambers include sinus venosus and conus arteriosus. So this sinus venosus and conus arteriosus is seen in case of fish, especially the cartilaginous fish, whereas this conus arteriosus, as and when it changes in or it gets evoluted into the heart of other animals in other classes or within the same class, so this conus arteriosus undergoes modification and forms the other structures. So here now let us see what actually the shark heart looks like. So this is the elasmobranch heart. Elasmobranch, it is also called as chondrichthyes. So here we are taking the example of shark. So the shark heart, it is usually S-shaped in nature, and it is tubular. So in here the first chamber we see is sinus venosus, which is a accessory chamber of the heart. After sinus venosus, it continues as auricle. Auricle forms the true chamber. Auricle then continues with ventricle. So the ventricle forms the true chamber as well. So auricle and ventricle, they are single chamber. There is no partition seen here. After this ventricle, it extends into a tubular structure called as conus arteriosus. So the conus arteriosus forms the accessory chamber of the heart. So in case of shark, we find conus arteriosus. This conus arteriosus undergoes modification into the next animals or next classes. In between the sinus venosus and auricle, we can find a valve. So this valve is called as sinoatrial valve. In between atrium and ventricle also we find valve present. That is called as atrioventricular valve. In between ventricle and near the conus arteriosus, we find semilunar valves, which are arranged in the form of 3 rows. This conus arteriosus continues as ventral aorta. From the ventral aorta, it goes, the blood goes to the pharyngeal gill slits for purification. Now let us know how blood moves inside the heart. The blood actually pours into the sinus venosus through the two ducts present on the either side. Such duct is called as ductus of Cuvieri or Cuverian duct. So these ducts collect the deoxygenated blood from the heart and it pours into the sinus venosus. From sinus venosus the blood moves into auricle or atrium. So from atrium it goes to the ventricle, and from ventricle it moves into the conus arteriosus and to the aortic arches. From aortic arches and ventral aorta it reaches to the pharyngeal gill slits for further purification. So here blood, that is only deoxygenated blood, moves inside the heart. So such kind of movement of blood or flow of blood is it depicts as single circulation. So in case of fish we find only single circulation because only deoxygenated blood is moving inside the heart, and thereby after purification the oxygenated blood is supplied to the body, but it is not entered into the heart again. That's why this corresponds to single circulation. So that was about the heart of shark. So apart from this we also find aortic arches. The aortic arches are actually paired blood vessels present. They are present in all the vertebrates, but their number varies. In case of shark, the number of aortic arches we see is 5 pairs. So basically in cartilaginous fishes we find 5 pairs of aortic arches. About this aortic arches in next session I will be explaining in deeply. So next, after chondrichthyan heart we have to read the amphibian heart. But before studying the amphibian heart, let us know how heart is present in case of bony fish and dipnoi fish. So in case of bony fish, which is the teleost or osteichthyes, the structural plan of heart is similar to that of the elasmobranch, but the variation is seen only in case of the presence of the accessory chamber that is present near to the ventricle. So here we saw conus arteriosus was present after the ventricle, but this conus arteriosus gets modified and it forms the bulbus arteriosus. So only this difference we can see if we compare this bony fish heart with that of cartilaginous fish. When coming to the dipnoi fish, dipnoi fish also called as lungfish. So in case of lungfishes, they don't respire by gills but they respire by lungs, and the lungs are the modifications of air bladder. So here we can find compartmentalization. Unlike the circulation that was taking place here, in case of bony fish also we find single circulation, in case of elasmobranch also we find single circulation, but here we find the double circulation. That is because of the compartmentalization of the ventricle and auricle. In case of dipnoi fish we find sinus venosus. This enters into the auricle, whereas in auricle we find a septum which is present incompletely, dividing the auricle into right auricle and left auricle. After the auricle we see ventricle. So in ventricle also there is partial compartmentalization. So the septum that divides the right auricle and left auricle, it is called as incomplete interauricular septum. So this is interauricular septum which is incomplete. Interauricular septum which is incomplete. In ventricle also it is compartmentalized into right and left ventricle, and here also we find a septum called as interventricular septum. This compartmentalization in auricle and ventricle, it is partial. After the ventricle the blood moves into the conus arteriosus. So here conus arteriosus is seen. but not the bulbous arteriosus. So conus arteriosus is continued from the ventricle. From the conus arteriosus, it continues with the ventral aorta. So here aortic arches are also seen. So in case of dipnoid fish, let us know how blood is flown. So from the body parts, deoxygenated blood is collected into the sinus venosus through two kinds of vein. One is called as post-caval vein and the other is called as pre-caval vein. So the pre-caval vein are 2 in number. So here also we find pre-caval vein, here also we find pre-caval vein, and the post-caval vein is only 1. So these two veins help in the collection of deoxygenated blood into the sinus venosus. From the sinus venosus, the blood is flown into the right auricle. So from right auricle, the blood gets passed into the right ventricle. In between right auricle and sinus venosus, we can find sinoatrial aperture just like that of the fish. And in between the auricle and ventricles also we find auriculoventricular aperture or auriculoventricular walls. These walls helps in the prevention of backflow of blood. So from right ventricle, the blood is flown into the ventral aorta and then it reaches to the lungs. So in the lungs, the blood is purified. So the blood is actually flown towards the lungs through the aortic arches. From the aortic arches, the blood is taken to the lungs. In lungs, the blood is purified. The deoxygenated blood is converted into oxygenated blood, and that blood is again taken into the left auricle. So always the right side of the heart collects the deoxygenated blood and the left side of the heart collects the oxygenated blood. This we have to remember. So into the left auricle, oxygenated blood is taken through the pulmonary veins. Pulmonary suggests to lungs. So through pulmonary veins, the blood is oxygenated blood, pure blood is taken into the left auricle, which is flown into the right ventricle. Here, because the auricles and the ventricles, they are partially divided, so there is mixing of blood taking place. So from left ventricle, it moves to the ventral aorta, and from here it will go to the other parts of the body. So here we can see deoxygenated blood also has entered and oxygenated blood has also entered. So such kind of entry of blood twice inside the heart suggests to double circulation. So such circulation is seen, but because there is mixing of blood, it is not so specific as that of the heart of birds and mammals. Now in case of amphibia, the structure remains the same as that of the lungfishes, but here the septum, that is compartmentalization of auricles, is seen but not the ventricles. In case of urodele, that is amphibian, which has tail. So in case of urodele amphibian, it has sinus venosus, then that sinus venosus enters into the right auricle and left auricle. So auricle is compartmentalized by interauricular septum. So this septum is incomplete. From auricle, the structure continues with ventricle. So ventricle forms the receiving chamber of the heart. So from ventricle we see a tubular structure called bulbous arteriosus. So in case of urodele amphibian, we find 4 pairs of aortic arches. And also in case of dipnoid fish also we see four pairs of aortic arches. So here let us know how the circulation takes place in case of urodil amphibian. So the sinus venosus collects the blood, that is deoxygenated blood, from the precaval and postcaval vein. So from precaval and postcaval vein, the blood pours inside the sinus venosus. From sinus venosus it enters into the right auricle. So here also we find sinoatrial aperture, just like that of the previous hearts. So from right auricle the blood is poured into the ventricle. So the ventricle then from the ventricle the blood is flown into the bulbous arteriosus, and through aortic arches it goes to the lungs for purification, because amphibians respire with lungs, the adult amphibians. So from the lungs the blood gets purified. The deoxygenated blood gets purified into oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood is again taken inside the auricle, but here it is left auricle. So always left auricle receives oxygenated blood. So here blood is received inside the left auricle through pulmonary veins. So from left auricle the blood pours inside the ventricle, and then through the aorta it is supplied to the other parts of the body. So here also there is mixing of blood. In case of auricles also, as they are incompletely compartmentalized, the blood is mixed, and in ventricle, as there is no septum formation, the blood obviously gets mixed. But we can find double circulation here, because the blood is flown twice inside the heart, that is deoxygenated blood is flown as well as oxygenated blood is flown. So these three heart which I explained, it is just for the knowledge purpose, but you remember the heart of shark as per the syllabus. So the next structure we are going to study is anuran amphibia. Anuran amphibian heart. This heart, it is the heart of frog. So as per the syllabus we have to read the heart of shark, the heart of frog, heart of calotes, and heart of birds and mammals. So in case of amphibia, that is frog, so there is no much difference, but no much difference from that of the urodil amphibian, but here the auricle is completely divided into two parts, that is right auricle and left auricle, whereas in case of urodila we saw there was the septum was divided partially. So here auricles are completely compartmentalized into right and left auricle, and there is sinus venosus also present as an accessory chamber of heart. So sinus venosus is seen, right auricle and left auricles are completely divided. From the right auricle and the left auricle, the heart continues with the ventricle. From the ventricle, the blood moves inside the truncus arteriosus, which is the modification of conus arteriosus. Here in amphibians we find, that is in case of frog especially, the class which belongs to the class Anura, we find 3 pairs of aortic arches, whereas in case of urodilans we saw 4 pairs of aortic arches. I will be explaining in depth about this in the next video. Now let us just know that there were 3 aortic arches seen in case of frog, that is anuran. So here the blood is same, collected from the precaval and postcaval veins. Precaval veins are 2 in number, postcaval is 1 in number. So the blood is poured inside the sinus venosus. From the sinus venosus, it is entered into the right auricle. The deoxygenated blood is collected actually, and it enters into the right auricle. Right auricle always receives the deoxygenated blood. So in between sinus venosus and right auricle, we find the presence of sinoatrial aperture. So from right auricle, the deoxygenated blood gets into the ventricle. So from ventricle, it goes inside the truncus arteriosus and then to the aortic arches. These aortic arches takes the blood to the lungs for further purification. So the deoxygenated blood gets converted into the oxygenated blood, and the blood from the lungs is again taken back into the auricle, but this time it is into the left auricle because left auricle receives oxygenated blood. So this blood is entered into the left auricle, that is pure blood, through the pulmonary veins. And here from the left auricle, the blood is flown inside the ventricle, and from the ventricle it goes into the goes to the other parts of the body through vessels. So here the major difference we find is complete interauricular septum. So in between auricle, that is right auricle and left auricle and ventricle, we find semilunar walls. So this is about the annular heart, that is frog heart. So the frog heart is three-chambered because the auricles are completely divided into two compartments, that is right and left auricle, and the ventricle is only one. That's why it is three-chambered. Whereas in Urodela also it was three-chambered, but the division was partial. So it is partially three-chambered, or it is three-chambered in general. Whereas in case of lungfishes also it was three-chambered partially. In case of fishes it is two-chambered. You all know that. So that's how the number of chambers of heart is actually studied, and that is based upon the compartmentalization of the chambers. So now let us see how the reptilian heart is present. So far we saw this annular heart. Now let us see the reptilian heart. So here the reptilian heart, we are taking the example of garden lizard. So this squamata. So squamata refers to lizard. So this is lizard heart. So the lizard heart, it has the sinus venosus, but it is much reduced, and it is completely continued to the right auricle. So here also we find sinoatrial aperture in between sinus venosus and the right auricle. After the right auricle, so auricle is here also it is completely divided, and it is called as complete interauricular septum. And from the auricle it continues with ventricle. So here the ventricles are partially divided. So here we can see incomplete interventricular septum, but the auricle was completely divided. Whereas in case of frog heart, the ventricle was not divided, not even partially divided, only auricles were divided. But here ventricles are divided, but they are partially divided. Hence lizard heart or reptilian heart, it is called as partially divided 4-chambered heart, or it is only 3.5 chambered heart. So usually it is called as 3.5 chamber because ventricles are not divided completely, but except the crocodilians, crocodilia, that includes crocodiles, gharial and alligators. So these three animals, they have got completely divided ventricles also, where the interventricular septum is complete. But in lizards, except the crocodilia, the lizards and the other reptiles has partially divided ventricles, forming the 3.5 chambered heart. So here the conus or truncus arteriosus, it is completely merged with the ventricle, it is no more seen distinctly, and here from the ventricle there arises 3 pairs of aortic arches. So here we can see, here this is called as systemic arch, that is left aortic trunk and right aortic trunk. So this is left aortic trunk, right aortic trunk. They are also called as systemic arch. Then pulmonary trunk, it is also called as pulmonary arch, and carotid trunk, it is also called as carotid arch. So these three are 3 pairs of aortic arches found in reptiles. So the pulmonary trunk, the function is to take the blood from deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to the lungs for further oxygenation. The function of the left aortic trunk and right aortic trunk is to take the blood, that is oxygenated blood, to other parts of the body, whereas the carotid trunk, that is carotid arch, function is to take the blood to the brain. So the right aortic and left aortic trunk is also called as systemic arch, I repeat. So these are 3 pairs of aortic arches. So now let us see how the circulation is taking place. So here also it is double circulation. Right from lungfishes we see double circulation, but not in the bony and cartilaginous fish. So here the blood is entered into the right auricle, that is through the sinus venosus. Sinus venosus, as it is much reduced here. So through the precaval and postcaval vein, the blood, that is deoxygenated blood, is poured inside the sinus venosus. Through the sinus venosus it enters into the right auricle. So from the right auricle it enters into the right ventricle. From right ventricle it goes to the lungs through pulmonary arch or pulmonary trunk. So when it reaches the lungs it undergoes oxygenation. So after oxygenation the blood is again get inside the heart, that is here it is blood is entered in the right auricle. The blood entered here is pure blood, so it will enter into the left auricle. So from the left auricle the blood actually enters through the pulmonary veins. So pulmonary veins, they carry oxygenated blood from the lungs and they pour inside the left auricle. So because the septum is completely divided, there is no mixing of blood inside the auricle, but blood when reaches the ventricle, because the septum is not completely dividing the ventricles, there is mixing of pure and impure blood. So the oxygenated blood flows to the carotid arch and systemic arches, that is right and left aortic trunk or right and left systemic arches. So from the systemic arches it moves to the whole other parts of the body, and from the carotid arch it goes to the head. So here they say towards the head the blood is flowing from the carotid arch. The blood here it is carrying is pure, whereas for other parts of the body blood carried is kind of mixed blood, that is pure and impure blood is mixed, which we saw here. So ventricle, because it is incompletely compartmentalized, mixing of blood is obvious, but for the head region the blood supplied is pure. So because the blood is entering twice inside the heart, it is called as double circulatory system in case of reptile. In case of bird and mammal we have to study now, but here as this crocodilian heart is present, so the speciality of crocodilian heart is it is 4-chambered. Unlike, though it is a reptile, unlike other reptiles, it is not 3.5 chambered, it is 4-chambered, completely divided into 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. So here the plan of heart is same to that of squamata heart or lizard heart. The only difference is seen is the presence of complete interventricular septum. So only this is the change. The circulation remains the same, and here there is no mixing of blood because of the complete ventricular, that is interventricular septum. Now let us study the heart of mammal and bird. So here we are studying it together because there is no much difference except one change in between the bird and mammal that I will tell at the end. So now let us see what actually the bird and mammalian heart consists of. So the here it is 4-chambered heart and double circulation is obvious. So here the sinus venosus is completely not seen. Here the auricles are divided into right and left auricles through interauricular septum, and from the auricles it enters into the ventricles. So ventricles are also divided completely through interventricular septum, that is complete interventricular septum. From the ventricle the blood moves into the other part of the vessels. So now the deoxygenated blood from the precaval and postcaval veins, it enters into the right auricle. So always right auricle is receiving deoxygenated blood. From right auricle the blood enters into the right ventricle. So in between right auricle and right ventricle we see valves. So those valves are tricuspid valves. So this you have to remember, in between right auricle and right ventricle we find tricuspid valves. So from right ventricle the blood, that is deoxygenated blood, it goes to the lungs for oxygenation through pulmonary trunk. So this pulmonary trunk is also called as pulmonary arch. So in case of bird and mammals we find 2 pairs of aortic arches. So one of the aortic arches is pulmonary arch, that is pulmonary trunk. Now the blood has now gone to the lungs. The lungs converts the deoxygenated blood into the oxygenated blood. So pure blood now we have. So from the lungs the pure blood is taken into the left auricle through pulmonary veins. From the pulmonary veins the blood is poured, that is pure blood is poured inside the left auricle, and from left auricle the pure blood enters into the left ventricle through the valves. So here also we have valves. So these valves present in between left auricle and left ventricle is bicuspid valves. So here in between right auricle and right ventricle we saw tricuspid valves, but in case of left auricle and left ventricle we see bicuspid valves. So here from the left ventricle the blood moves inside the aortic arch, that is aortic trunk. So the aortic arch is also called as systemic arch. So 2 pairs of aortic arches I told. So one is pulmonary arch, the other one is aortic arch or aortic trunk, also called as systemic arch. So from this systemic arch or aortic trunk the pure blood is supplied to the other parts of the body. So in between the ventricles and this pulmonary trunk and aortic trunk there are semilunar valves. So the presence of valves is actually to check or prevent the backflow of blood. So this was the comparison of the different kinds of heart in case of vertebrates. So you all focus on the heart of shark. So the heart of shark, then heart of frog, heart of lizard, and heart of bird and mammal. So hope you understood this comparison. One more thing I wanted to tell here, that I told there is difference with the bird and mammalian heart. So that difference is seen in case of systemic arch. So the aortic trunk or systemic arch, it is divided again into two. So it is divided again into two like this. So in case of bird, we see only right systemic arch that arises from the left ventricle like this. So this is the aortic arch only, systemic arch only, but it is dividing into two. So systemic arch is dividing into two. So this systemic arch that is arising from the left ventricle is called as right systemic arch. So right systemic arch is seen in case of birds, whereas as I said, two divisions from the systemic arch that is present in case of arch is arising. So that is called as left systemic arch. From the left ventricle, right systemic arch is arising, whereas systemic arch is arising. So right systemic arch is seen in case of birds and left systemic arch is seen in case of mammals. This you will understand when I explain about aortic arches. So this is the small difference with the bird and mammal. Rest all the structures remains the same. So this was about the comparisons of heart in case of different vertebrates. Hope you all understood this. This is the explanation I have given. Whatever notes I have given, you just refer the notes and refer the diagram explained here. You will get it in the you will get the better understanding. Thank you.